Hey everyone, welcome to today's live stream. Really excited to be with you all here. Today's topic is a good one. How to take a leap of faith and to step outside of your comfort zone. I feel this is a huge skill to learn, very valuable, because they say that life begins outside of your comfort zone. And and so through the years in my life, I have definitely taken numbers of leaps of faith. Each has been, challenging in its own way, but there's definitely have been lessons that I've learned through it. And so I just wanted to share today just some tips on, what different things you can cultivate to help you to take whichever leap it is that you're being called to take within your life. All right. So one of the first things to keep in mind when taking a leap is to really listen to your heart. I've done a previous stream, if you haven't seen it, where I give some tips on how to follow your heart. I think there's definitely some good points in there if you wanted to look into that. But yeah, so first off, to follow your heart, and because your heart is your inner compass. Your heart is what's going to lead you to the right action, because your brain, as it's a valuable tool, but your mind only knows the past. It only knows what previously happened. It doesn't know what's to come. So in order to take a leap of faith, you're going to need to have guidance that unfortunately your mind isn't going to be able to help you with, because your mind only knows, like I said, the past. It only knows what you may potentially, lose, but it doesn't know what you will gain from taking whatever action it is that you're being called to take. And as I say, being called, that calling that you're going to feel, it's going to be something in your heart. It's not going to be something, logical. It's just going to be something that you feel within you that's just pulling you in a certain direction to where, you're like, I don't know why, but I'm just feeling called to go in this direction or to leave this situation or, whatever it is. And you have to trust your heart in that, because like I said, your mind is going to try to talk you out of it. But with that, it's okay to be scared. Because like I said, it's something that's outside of what you've previously known. And so it's the unknown. So do know that it is okay to feel scared as you take these leaps. And that is okay. And one thing to always keep in mind when you're feeling scared or feeling fear is the acronym for fear, which is false evidence appearing real. So that's a really good one there, so your brain is coming up with all this false evidence because it only knows the past. It doesn't know what's lying ahead as you take this leap. And so just remember that that's just false evidence. You're following your heart, and just know that you're going to be okay. But know that it is normal to feel scared in the process, and that's a part of it. But just allow yourself to feel that and to really feel it and to really feel into your body. And as you're, going through this and getting ready to take this leap, one thing I would encourage you is to, like I said, trust your heart and to not really seek advice from others. And the reason I say that is because they don't know your heart. They don't know what's calling you. And so if you go to someone else and ask their opinion or what you should do in whatever situation, they don't know your heart. So they're just going to answer from what they feel is the most logical thing, or what they feel is, more safe, or, whatever it may be. So with that, I would say don't necessarily seek advice, but I guess there's different ways with that. Because unless you know that the person is going to help you with what you're going towards, well, then in that situation, obviously, you would reach out to someone. So let's say if your leap is, I don't know, like let's say one of the leaps I did was just packing up and traveling abroad for, 3 months. So with that being a leap, right, it was something I've never done before. It was going into the unknown, solo travel. So in that situation, someone good to talk to would be to talk to someone who's already done that. So I think that is a good person to be able to reach out to, someone who has done what it is you're seeking to do. So then that way you get encouraging guidance. But just know that as any input you get from others, take with a grain of salt, and make sure you weigh it in your heart, and ask yourself with anything that comes to you, does this feel heavy or does this feel light and expansive? And then that will help you with really, like I said, following your inner guidance, your inner compass and your heart as you take that leap. And another thing I wanted to say is to know that it's okay if things don't go, if things don't go exactly as you have planned, right? Because you're taking a leap of faith, you're going into the unknown. And yeah, so actually I'm gonna pause here because I remember I wanted to show just a quick clip just so we can get an idea of what a good solid leap of faith looks like, all right? So I'm just gonna play this quick clip for you guys.
They are a beryllium carbonic alloy, and I can fly.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
You can't.
Can't tell you, I could fly around this room with my eyes closed.
Okay, then, Mr. Lightbeer, prove it.
All right, then I will. Stand back, everyone. To infinity and beyond! Can.
Whoa! Oh, wow, you flew magnificently.
I found my moving buddy.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
That wasn't flying. That was falling with style.
So yeah, so that's one of my favorite scenes from Toy Story. That scene is just iconic. And I think it's such, like I said, just a good example of what it looks like to just leap with faith. Like Buzz, when he walked up to that, that banister there and took that leap, like eyes closed, 100% faith, he could fly. And what I also like about this particular example is when you look at it physically, right, of him just bopping around and falling onto things, sometimes taking a leap can feel like that, When you take that jump, you might bop around, It may not just be a fluid just like soar into the air, like that you may have to, as Woody put it, fall with style. And so do know that as you're getting ready to step into something new and taking this leap, that something may happen that hits you by surprise, but know that that is a part of it. And the big thing I want you to know is when these things happen that maybe your logical mind may first interpret as negative or wrong or whatever it may be, I will say the biggest thing I would say to do is to swap that interpretation and know that there is no getting it wrong, So anything that happens was meant to happen, and not only that, there's so much to be gained and to learn from. So when you fall into different situations, instead of being, woe is me or being upset, think really ask yourself, what is it that I need to learn from this right now? Where is it that I'm being guided towards? And to use those things to help propel you further. And when you shift your energy, right, into the positive and not allow your mind to go into negative, that will help you to, as I said, you're bopping down. So then when you stay in the positive, then that will help flip you over to where, you're spinning on the racetrack. I don't know how far I'm going with this analogy, but yeah, so that's just really something to keep in mind as you're taking the leap. I guess in the world of analogies, another one I was actually kind of thinking of as I was putting together this presentation that I wanted to share was, again, with the analogy of taking a leap, is thinking of it as, jumping out of an airplane. I have yet to go skydiving, but I know those that have. Actually, my dad has done it before. So those that I talk to, that say that usually the scariest part is when you're still in the plane and you're looking over the edge. But as you're doing that, realize, that's the scariest part, but you're still safe in that moment, like you're still technically in the plane. So that's not really, so just know that if that's the scariest part, once you leap, you're gonna be all right. So yeah, and so once you jump, as you're, at that point when you're falling, that's where I want to go with this analogy. So imagine you're jumping out of this plane with an invisible parachute. There we go. So it's invisible, so right? So that's why it's a leap of faith, because you're having to believe that as you jump, this invisible magical parachute is going to catch your fall. All right? But here's the caveat. For this magical parachute to work, when you're falling out, like I said, you jumped out of a plane, you're taking the leap and you're falling. For this parachute to work, you cannot look back up to the plane and start freaking out and trying to get back in the plane. Because at this point it's too late anyways, you already jumped. But do know that if you try to turn and are flailing through the air trying to get back to the plane, that energy of trying to get back to where you came from is not going to activate your parachute. That's going to keep it from activating, all right? So you don't want to do that whole freak out of what you left, what the past was, what the past situation was. It's okay. You've already jumped. You gotta stay in the moment. And so, right? So we're in the moment. We're taking a leap of faith. We don't know when we're going to land or, how the landing is going to be, but we're in it, in the moment. But so also in that, like I said, we're not scratching to get to where we were. Also, don't freak out as far as when you're going to land, where you're going to land, and then start having a bunch of, future trip anxiety, like, oh no, I jumped, what's going to happen, where I'm going to be. So then that panic there, that's also going to stop your parachute from deploying. So the only way for this magical parachute to work 100% of the time is you got to be fully in the present moment. So not freaking out about the past or the future, but you're just here, you're in it. And then that, by being in the present moment, that will allow you to really see what life is bringing to you, And then as you're in the present moment, then you'll get those impulses. You'll be able to hear the impulses and, different directions that your heart gives you of, go here, talk to this person, do this particular thing, and it'll allow you to be in the flow. So as you're taking this leap of faith, synchronicities will happen and things will just line up to where you will be able to be Buzz Lightyear and, do whatever needs to happen and land and be able to land right where you need to land. So hopefully that analogy added some value. But yeah, I definitely think there's just so much power that comes when you really have the courage to step out and do something that scares you, because when you do that, it allows you to grow. Stepping outside of your comfort zone grows you as a person. As you expand into new things, new experiences, it opens your awareness. It makes you a fuller person, a more expanded person. So definitely don't hold yourself back. If your heart is being called to something, move in that direction, As one other thing I want to add with that is, I know sometimes when you're when you have that sensation of wanting to, leap into something new, it's easy to try to be like, oh, I need a sign. Should I do this? And I do think there's a time and place for signs, but I think signs can be tricky because it's easy to make a sign mean what you want it to mean. So usually how I look at it is, it's like if let's say you're wanting to quit your job and you're asking for a sign if you should quit your job. The fact that you're asking for a sign if you should quit your job, that right there is the sign. If that makes sense. If you're asking for a sign if you should do X, that very essence of you asking is most likely your sign. And so, of course, that doesn't mean that maybe you should, quit right there on the spot. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But again, that comes into you asking your heart and really feeling into it and following the guidance that comes to you. But yeah, just know if you're having to ask for a sign, or if you're having to rationalize the situation that you're not wanting to step away from, that's probably the sign telling you it's time to leap forward. It's time for you to, take that step so you can get into your expandedness and to grow and really just live your life, because what is a life lived if you're just doing the same thing every single day? There's something to be said of just living to the fullest and doing things that expand you. I'm trying to think of the exact quote. I was like listening to this to Wayne Dyer talk, and he said this awesome thing where before he took a leap of faith, because like he was a professor working at a college, he was getting ready to get tenure, which is something that a lot of professors want to get, right? It's basically a guaranteed salary for the rest of your life at a university. But he was at a time in his life where he was feeling this call to do something else. And one of the things he had asked himself is, because obviously the professor, job was the known. And so he asked himself, do you want to live, the same year 99 times? Or do you want to, man, it was so, I wish I should have wrote it down because it was so eloquent. It's basically like if you're doing the same thing every day, it's like you're living the same year 99 times, or if you're going to grow yourself to live 99 years, expansive growth. I botched that, but I definitely should have wrote it down because the way he said it was just so eloquent. It's like so profound of, the difference of doing something that is known just over and over again, as opposed to doing something unknown, but it grows you and brings you into higher awareness and allows you to step into the new and become just a more aware person and an expansive person. Yeah. All right, so let me see if there was anything else I wanted to add to that. I think that covers a lot of it. So my encouragement to you is definitely, like I said, just listen to your heart. If there's something that you're being called to, do it. Life is precious. We don't know, you never know, if you even have tomorrow or when your last moment will be. So live it to the fullest. Don't allow negativity, fears, different things that hold you back. And do know that there is support out there. If you're needing help, stepping out. I love the world that we live in right now with the internet. Like I said, just anything that you're wanting to do, there are people out there who have done it. So you can easily, reach out and find support and find like-minded individuals who can give you encouragement as you take these steps and just be able to really, feel supported as you're doing this and know that you don't have to do it alone. So yes, I guess I'm gonna hop into the chat now. And oh yeah, give this video a thumbs up. Oh wait, that's right, I have my little graphic. Yeah, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, ring the bell. At some point, maybe I'll get smoother with this. All right, so let's see. Of course, hello, Pillar of Light. Always good to see you in the chat. Then, see who else we got here. Enter the Loyalty Justice 7-7 plus topic. Dancing in style, thank you. I just kind of bop about. But I've been enjoying picking the music before the streams for that little wait period. I usually end up cropping that part out later, but yeah, it's kind of just a fun way to get in the stream. I like to have that so, it gives time for everyone to hop on in and to get going. All right. see. Yes, the ego is definitely a problem, is problematic at times. Yeah, it definitely can be. I think there's just something to be said, though, of really learning, taking the time to learn what the ego is and why it exists. And as you do that, that will help to navigate and to use it to your benefit as opposed to it being to your detriment. And something I'm definitely still working on. But I have noticed that as I've been taking time to just really study and dive deep into, psychology and just different things and how we build up our different views of the world and how we present ourselves to the world. There's just so much power that comes from having that awareness. And as we have that awareness, that empowers us to make better decisions moving forward, definitely. All right, let's see. Thank you. I really needed this. I'm currently running the FAIR program. Yeah, I know. Right now, it's a tough one. This is definitely a time where fear is running rampant, in the collective energy for good reason, right? Because of just everything that's going on. But I definitely feel that there's so much power that comes as we help each other and we lift each other up, and to know that it can be okay. And as each of us step into our own, power, to step into love, right? Because the opposite of fear, I believe, is love. And as we really tap into that love within ourselves, that will spread to others within the world and will raise up the collective energy. I think it was, crap, I'm trying to remember his name. I'm like on the spot right now. Dr. Hopkins has the scale of like the different energy that he realized. And so at the top of that is the vibration of love. And one thing that's noticed that as someone vibrates at that vibration of love, it spreads like exponentially within the community around them and can lift even, cities up. And yeah, and so I definitely encourage you is to just spend time, in love and loving yourself. Self-love is just so important. I believe just having just a strong sense of self-love is what's going to help with facing fear. And also know with fear, it can be okay to just, as I say, love is to not fight against it. So don't fight against fear. But like I said, love being the opposite is to love fear. So if you're feeling fear in your body, just say, just sit with yourself and say, right now I'm feeling fear and I love that. And as you love it, then that will allow things to move. And you can also just get curious, where do you feel the fear in your body? Do you feel it in your chest? What does fear feel like? Do you feel it in your stomach? And as you really sit with that and bring awareness to it, that will help it to just really move through your body. So then it doesn't, take over your actions and, what you do and what you say. You're holding a space for it. And then as you, like I said, you love the fear and allow it to be there in the moment, and then ask it, what is it that you're trying to tell me, and ask, where does this fear come from? And as you do that, you'll be surprised, because a lot of times with a lot of fears, it usually stems from things within our childhood. So you can try to ask yourself, when did I first feel this feeling? So as you take that time to really feel where you feel it, whether it's like in your chest or in your stomach or wherever it is in your body, ask yourself, when did I first feel this feeling, And as you do that and then trace it back, that can bring just so much awareness there, and then, maybe it was from, your 5-year-old self, that felt that feeling first. And then you can, do inner child work is so important. And, maybe go back to that 5-year-old self of you and love that 5-year-old and be there and be present. And then also treat it as you would a scared, 5-year-old. If a 5-year-old was scared, you wouldn't try to tell them, no, you're going to be, don't be scared. It's nothing. No, no, no. You will just hug the 5-year-old, be there for them, and just let them know, I am here for you. I am with you. It is okay. And there's just so much power. Like I said, it's not like you're trying to force or, banish or anything like that. You're just loving it and being present and just being that energy of love. And you'll just be amazed at what will happen and how that will transmute the energy and allow it to flow so it's not stuck in your body and you can move forward that way. All right. I'm like just kind of riffing here. This feeling good today, actually. I was actually excited to get on the stream today because this was actually a topic that I had been thinking about for a while to do. But like I said, I took my break from streaming, but now that I got back into it today I was just like, you know what? I feel like streaming again. So I, got my notes together, set my camera up, and here I am. So I'm so excited to do this. But yeah, I will go ahead and wrap things up. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Always let me know any questions you have. And if there's a leap that you're getting ready to take, feel free to share it in the comments. And I love hearing from you all. And yeah, I will see you guys again soon. All right. Take care.